My girlfriend said, "Relax, it's not what it looks like. My ex just needed a place to crash for a night." I said, "Sure, I understand." The next morning, I quietly moved her things out of my apartment. When she came back and found the locks changed, she texted, "Wait, what's going on?" I'm 29, work in tech sales, and up until 3 days ago, I thought I had my life pretty well sorted. Good apartment in the city, solid income, a girlfriend I'd been with for 2 years named Maya. She was 27, worked as a graphic designer, and we'd been talking about moving in together officially. I say officially because she'd been staying at my place 4 or 5 nights a week for the past 8 months. Her lease was up in 2 months and we'd already started looking at bigger apartments together. Last Thursday evening I got home around 7. Maya was already there, which was normal. What wasn't normal was her sitting on the couch with this nervous energy, scrolling through her phone like she was building up courage. I grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat down next to her. "Hey, so, I need to ask you something," she started. I could tell this wasn't going to be a simple question. "What's up?" Jake reached out to me today. Jake. Her ex-boyfriend from college. They'd dated for 3 years, broke up about 6 months before Maya and I got together. She'd mentioned him maybe twice in 2 years, always in passing. Never a big deal. "Okay," I said slowly. "He's going through a really rough time. He got laid off, had to leave his apartment because he couldn't make rent, and he's basically couch surfing until he figures things out. He asked if he could crash here for one night, just tonight. He has a friend in Boston who said he could stay there, but he can't get there until tomorrow." I felt this weird knot form in my stomach. "Your ex-boyfriend wants to sleep here." "It's not like that," she said quickly. "He's literally just desperate. I feel bad for him. We ended things on good terms, and he has nowhere else to go tonight. Maya, we live in a city with 100 hotels. He doesn't have money right now. That's the whole point." I stared at her. "You want me to be cool with your ex-boyfriend sleeping in my apartment?" "Our apartment," she corrected, which annoyed me because her name wasn't on the lease. "And yes, I'm asking you to be understanding. It's one night. He'll sleep on the couch, be gone by morning. I'm not asking you to become best friends with him. Here's the thing about me. I don't fight. I don't yell. I've learned over the years that getting visibly angry just makes things worse. So I took a breath and said, if this is important to you, then okay." One night. Her whole face lit up. "Really? Thank you so much, babe. I promise it'll be fine. You won't even notice he's here." Jake showed up around 9 with a backpack and this sheepish, apologetic vibe. He was tall, decent-looking, wore a wrinkled button-down like he'd been wearing it for 2 days. He shook my hand, thanked me repeatedly, said he'd be gone first thing in the morning. "Seriously, man, I appreciate this. I know it's weird." "It's fine," I said, because what else was I supposed to say? Maya had ordered pizza. The 3 of us sat in my living room eating, and I watched them. They had this ease with each other, the kind you only get from years of history. Inside jokes I didn't understand. References to people I'd never met. She laughed at his stories in a way that felt a little too comfortable. Around 11, I said I was going to bed. Maya kissed me goodnight and said she'd be in soon. I went to the bedroom, closed the door, and lay there in the dark. I could hear them talking. Low voices, occasional laughter. At 11:30, I heard her say she was going to bed too. She came in, got under the covers, kissed my shoulder. "See? Not so bad, right?" "Yeah," I said. "Not so bad." I didn't sleep much. Around 2 a.m., I got up to use the bathroom. The apartment was dark and quiet. I walked past the living room and glanced at the couch. It was empty. The blanket Maya had given Jake was folded neatly on the armrest. I stood there for a long moment, my brain trying to process what I was seeing. Then I walked back to the bedroom and opened the door quietly. Maya was asleep on her side of the bed, facing away from me. I checked the bathroom. Empty. I checked the kitchen. Empty. Then I noticed the guest bedroom door was closed. We used it as storage mostly. Boxes of Maya's stuff she hadn't found room for yet. I opened the door slowly. Jake was in there, asleep on the air mattress we kept for actual guests. The door had been closed from the inside. I went back to bed. My mind was racing, but I forced myself to think clearly. Maybe he just wanted more privacy. Maybe the couch was uncomfortable. Maybe there was a reasonable explanation. But then I thought, if there was a reasonable explanation, why didn't Maya mention it? Why didn't she say, "Hey, we're going to set up the air mattress in the guest room instead"? I lay there until my alarm went off at 6. I got up, got dressed, and went to the living room. Jake's backpack was by the couch. I could hear the shower running. A few minutes later, Maya came out in her robe, hair wet. "Morning," she said, smiling. "Want me to make coffee?" "I'm good," I said. Jake came out of the guest room fully dressed at 6:30. "Hey man, thanks again for letting me crash. I'm heading out now." "No problem," I said. Maya walked him to the door. They hugged. She said something I couldn't hear, and he nodded. Then he was gone. She came back to the living room. "See? That wasn't so bad. He's a good guy." "Yeah," I said. "He seems great." She kissed my cheek and went to get ready for work. I sat on the couch and thought about what I was going to do. I'm not an impulsive person. I don't make big decisions based on feelings, but I also don't ignore my gut. I called my buddy Marcus, who's a locksmith. "Can you change my locks today?" "Yeah, probably." "What's going on?" "Just need it done. Can you come by around noon?" "Sure, man." Then I called my boss and said I was taking a personal day. Maya left for work at 8:30, kissed me goodbye, said she'd see me tonight. The second the door closed, I started moving. I packed everything of hers. Clothes, toiletries, the decorative pillows she'd brought over, the kitchen stuff she'd slowly accumulated. 2 suitcases, 3 boxes. I put it all in the guest bedroom. Then I called my building manager and explained I needed to change the locks for security reasons. He said as long as I paid for it, I could do whatever I wanted. Marcus showed up at noon and had the locks changed in 40 minutes. I tipped him an extra 100 and thanked him. By 1 p.m., it was done. Maya's key no longer worked. I texted her, "Your things are packed. You can pick them up from building security. I'll have them brought down by 6 inches. She called me immediately. I didn't answer. She called 3 more times. I didn't answer. Then the texts started. "What the hell is going on? Are you serious right now? You're going to break up with me over text? At least have the decency to talk to me." I turned my phone off and went to the gym. I needed to clear my head. When I got back 2 hours later, I had 17 missed calls and a dozen texts. I scrolled through them. Lots of anger, some pleading, accusations that I was being childish and cruel. At 5:45, I took her stuff down to the building lobby and left it with security. I told them she'd be coming to pick it up. Then I went back upstairs. She showed up at 6:30. I watched from my window as she tried her key, realized it didn't work, and started pounding on the building door. Security let her in to get her things. I saw her loading boxes into an Uber, looking up at my window like she knew I was watching. My phone buzzed. "We need to talk. You owe me an explanation." I finally responded, "You brought your ex-boyfriend to sleep in my apartment. That's all the explanation you need." "He slept on the couch. You're insane." "He slept in the guest room." I checked at 2 a.m. There was a long pause. Then, "So what?" "The couch was uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with that." "Then why didn't you tell me that's what you were planning?" Another pause. "I didn't think it mattered." "It matters. You lied by omission. And honestly, I don't care if nothing happened. You prioritized his comfort over my boundaries. That's enough. You're overreacting. Maybe. But it's my apartment, my decision." She didn't respond after that. Update 1. I didn't hear from Maya for 3 days. I figured that was the end of it. Then on Tuesday, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I answered. "Hey man, it's Jake. I almost hung up." "What do you want?" "Look, I know this is weird, but I wanted to apologize. Maya told me what happened, and I feel like it's my fault. I shouldn't have asked to stay there. I put her in a bad position." "You think?" I wanted you to know nothing happened. I swear. We just talked about old times. And yeah, I moved to the guest room because the couch was killing my back, but that's it. Maya loves you, man. She's really torn up about this." "Did she ask you to call me?" Silence. "She did, didn't she?" "She's worried about you. She thinks you won't listen to her, so maybe you'd listen to me." I laughed. "Let me get this straight. She sent her ex-boyfriend to convince me to take her back. That's your strategy? I mean, when you say it like that, don't call me again." I hung up. 10 minutes later, Maya texted, "Did you talk to Jake? He was just trying to help. Don't contact me again. We're done. You're being cruel." I blocked her number. Update 2. 3 weeks went by. I was doing fine, honestly. Work was busy. I was going to the gym regularly, hanging out with friends. Then one of those friends, Sarah, asked if she could talk to me about something. We met for coffee. She looked uncomfortable. "I don't know if I should tell you this, but I think you deserve to know." "Know what?" "Maya and Jake are together." I felt nothing. Literally nothing. "Okay." "They've been posting on social media. It looks pretty serious." "Good for them." Sarah looked confused. "You're not upset?" "Why would I be? I already knew." "You did?" "Not explicitly, but come on. You don't bring your ex-boyfriend to sleep over at your current boyfriend's place unless something's going on. Even if they weren't physically together then, she was emotionally checked out. I just saved myself the trouble of dragging it out." Sarah nodded slowly. "That's actually really mature. I'm 29. I'm too old for games." But then Sarah leaned in closer, her voice dropping. "There's more. Maya's been telling people you kicked her out with no warning, that you were controlling and jealous the whole relationship. She's playing the victim hard." I felt my jaw tighten. Of course she is. "A few mutual friends have been asking me about it. I told them I didn't know the full story, but I thought you should know what she's saying." "I appreciate that. Also," Sarah hesitated, "I heard from David that she and Jake have been together for at least a month before that night. Maybe longer. That hit differently. A month. That meant she'd been planning this, lying to me for weeks. The unemployment story, the desperate situation, all of it coordinated." Update 3. A month and a half after the breakup, I got an email from Maya. Not a text, an actual email, because I'd blocked her everywhere else. The subject line read, "Please read this." Against my better judgment, I opened it. It was long, really long. She apologized for how things ended, said she understood why I was hurt, but insisted nothing physical happened with Jake that night. Then she dropped this. "I know you probably won't believe me, but Jake and I aren't together anymore." It lasted 3 weeks and completely fell apart. Turns out, we're better as memories than as actual people trying to build something new. I think I was just confused and emotionally vulnerable after losing you. She went on to say she'd been in therapy, realized she had commitment issues, and that I deserved better than how she treated me. The email ended with, "I'm not asking you to take me back. I just needed you to know that you were right about everything, and I'm sorry I couldn't see it then." I read it twice. Then I closed my laptop and didn't respond. 2 days later, my friend Marcus called me. "Dude, you need to hear this. My girlfriend knows Jake through work. Apparently, he got fired from his new job for lying on his timesheet. And get this, he never actually had a friend in Boston. He was staying with Maya the entire time at her old apartment. They'd been hooking up for 2 months before that night at your place. So the whole thing was a setup. Sounds like it. She wanted to see if you'd be cool with it, maybe test if you'd accept an open relationship or something. When you kicked her out, she went full on with Jake, but he's apparently broke as hell and was mooching off her. She got tired of paying for everything and dumped him. I sat there processing this. The unemployment wasn't a lie, but everything else was. The timing, the story about Boston, the one-night emergency, it was all manufactured. "You dodged a missile, man," Marcus said. "Yeah, I really did." Update 4. 2 months later, I was at a work conference downtown. During the lunch break, I stepped outside to take a call and saw Maya sitting on a bench about 50 feet away. She wasn't alone. She was with some guy I didn't recognize, and they were arguing. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but her body language was defensive, arms crossed, face tight. I turned to walk the other direction, but she saw me. Her eyes went wide. For a second, I thought she might come over, but instead, she just looked away quickly and said something to the guy she was with. He glanced at me, then back at her. I kept walking. That night, I got another email. "I saw you today. I wanted to come say hi, but I didn't think you'd want that. I'm seeing someone new. His name is Chris. He's nice. I'm trying to do things differently this time. I hope you're doing well. I really do." I stared at that email for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond, to say something cutting or final. But what would be the point? She'd already taken enough of my energy. Instead, I deleted the email and blocked her email address too. A week after that, Sarah called me laughing. "You're not going to believe this. Maya reached out to me asking if you were seeing anyone. She wanted to know if you'd moved on." "What did you tell her?" "I told her it was none of her business and that she needed to leave you alone." Then she tried to say she just wanted closure. "Closure," I repeated. "She's the one who blew everything up." "I know. I think she's realizing what she lost and it's eating at her." "Chris? The new guy?" I looked him up. He works in retail management, lives with 2 roommates, drives a 15-year-old car. I'm not saying that to be judgmental, but it's a far cry from what you were offering her. "She made her choice." "She made a stupid choice," Sarah corrected, "and now she's regretting it." The next day, I got a message request on LinkedIn of all places. Maya again. "I know you've blocked me everywhere, and I respect that, but I need to tell you something important. Jake contacted me last week threatening to tell everyone that I cheated on you with him if I didn't give him money. He's claiming I owe him for the time he spent helping me transition out of your place. It's insane. I just wanted you to know in case he reaches out to you. I never cheated on you, I swear." I sat there staring at that message. The desperation was palpable. Whether she was telling the truth about Jake or not, it didn't matter anymore. This was no longer my problem. I didn't respond. I just archived the message. Final update. It's been 4 months since I changed those locks. I'm in a good place now. I started seeing someone new about 6 weeks ago. Her name is Rachel, she's a nurse, and she's nothing like Maya. She's direct, honest, doesn't play games. On our 3rd date, I told her the whole story about Maya and Jake. She listened, nodded, and said, "Thank you for telling me." That must have been really hard, but I'm glad you trusted yourself enough to walk away. That was it. No drama, no judgment, just understanding. Last week, I ran into Jake at a bar. He was with some people I didn't know. We made eye contact across the room. He looked like he wanted to come over, maybe apologize or explain, but I just turned back to my conversation. He left about 20 minutes later. I haven't heard from Maya in 6 weeks. No emails, no messages, nothing. I think she finally got the hint. Or maybe she's just moved on to the next guy and the next set of problems. As for me, I'm good. Better than good, actually. I learned something important from all of this. Trust your gut, set your boundaries, and don't negotiate with people who don't respect you. Maya wanted me to be the kind of guy who'd accept whatever she threw at me as long as she smiled and said it was fine. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who changes the locks. Edit. A lot of people are asking if I ever found out the real truth about whether Maya and Jake were together before that night. Honestly, I don't know for sure, and at this point it doesn't matter. What I do know is that she brought him into my home and lied about where he was sleeping. That was enough for me. Edit 2. Someone asked if I regret not hearing her out or giving her a second chance. The answer is no. You don't test someone's boundaries and then get upset when they enforce them. She knew what she was doing, and she made a calculated risk. It didn't pay off.